Real Housewives of Sydney's Kate Adams tells all on life after the reunion, from her heartbreaking IVF journey to the new man in her life. With Real Housewives of Sydney's third season coming to a close, it's back to reality for this reality star, but the real world is coming up even juicier than her life on the screen. Kate Adams, who joined the binge show's lineup of ladies in season 2, dished the tea while dressed to the nines at the show's glamorous reunion watch party. The glitzy shindig, which was held at the Plaza Hotel on Tuesday night, saw fellow castmates Terry Biviano and Martine Chippendale also in attendance, as well as Real Housewives of Melbourne alum Jackie Gillies. While wearing a dramatic floor-length frock that showed off her killer figure, Kate shared some saucy, tidbit secrets about her mystery man, whom she teased on the show. "We had an absolutely fabulous 7 days in New Zealand," she told Daily Mail Australia. "We were so loved up. We spent every waking minute together. I don't think we left that hotel room a lot." However, the holiday romance was a short-lived one, with the long distance getting in the way of their relationship. "For me, that didn't last," she said, adding, "That's not to say that we left on bad terms. We live in different cities." Kate wasn't doom and gloom about the failed match. In fact, she found it liberating. When you throw away this idea of having to have one man for the rest of your life because you have to have children, once you let that go, it gives you this psychological freedom to explore whatever it is you want to explore. And besides, Kate wasn't shy to admit that there may be another man on the scene. "He might just be a little bit more trained than the last," she divulged with a smirk on her face. "You know, he's a little bit more of a feminist." Girls' bathroom chatter aside, Kate wasn't afraid to address the nitty-gritty topics too, including her IVF, in vitro fertilization, journey. During the show's third season, Kate opened up about freezing her eggs and potentially having children in the future. But the process was trickier than the reality star expected. "The IVF journey was really hard for me, like it was actually awful," she revealed. Noting how grueling the process was and how expensive it became, she decided to not go through with a second round. "If you know truly that you want to have children, I think it's a really great option for people. To be able to have that option, we're so blessed," she added. But reflecting on her thriving veterinarian clinic and the full life she lives on the daily, Kate was happy with the deck of cards she'd ended up with. "I never set out to be a career person, and I never set out to be what I am today," she went on. "Life has this way of being able to serve out things that you don't expect, and I think you have to make the best of whatever that is. When it comes to women in general, I do think that we all have a little part of ourselves where we feel like we haven't lived up to whatever society has expected of us. So that might be because we feel like we haven't done well enough in our career, or it might be because we haven't been mothers. I don't prescribe to that," she iterates, leaving some words of wisdom for her fans. "We have to enjoy whatever slightly asterisked sandwich that we're given, and with another season of RHOS under belt, a new man on the scene, and a thriving vet hospital to tend to, it's clear to see Kate Adams' life is as far from a asterisk sandwich as you can get. The glitz, the glamour, the glares, life on the Real Housewives of Sydney is never short of drama, but Dr. Kate Adams is revealing a far more raw and real chapter of her life now that the cameras have stopped rolling. In an exclusive, deeply personal sit-down, the beloved Bondi vet peels back the layers of her reality TV persona to reveal a world marked by quiet heartache, self-discovery, and yes, a surprising new romance that's been blossoming far from the scrutiny of the spotlight. "There's a difference between being exposed and being vulnerable," Kate says, sipping a long black in a quiet corner cafe tucked away from Sydney's bustling social scene. She's traded in her signature reunion glam for an effortless linen jumpsuit and a serene smile, a far cry from the icy exchanges and champagne-soaked confessionals that fans witnessed in the explosive RHOS reunion special. A reunion that changed everything. While her time on Real Housewives of Sydney offered her a platform and, as she puts it, a crash course in high-octane human behavior, Kate admits the reunion was a turning point, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. "Walking off that set, I realized I'd been fighting to prove something to people who didn't really know me. I was so wrapped up in being the woman with the sharp one-liners and perfect posture, but inside I was grieving something no one knew about. That grief, she reveals, stemmed from the most vulnerable journey of her life, trying to become a mother. The silent battle, Kate's IVF journey. Unbeknownst to her castmates or even most of her closest friends, Kate was undergoing IVF during the filming of the show. I didn't talk about it publicly at the time because I didn't want it to be reduced to a storyline, she explains. But behind the scenes, I was injecting hormones, going to ultrasounds between filming scenes, and praying for a miracle. The decision to become a single mother wasn't made lightly. I've always known I wanted children, but I wasn't going to wait for the perfect man or the perfect time. I'm a woman of science, of reason, and I thought, why not take the leap? The IVF process, however, proved far more emotionally taxing than Kate anticipated. When you're a high achiever, you think, I'll just follow the steps, and it'll happen. But biology doesn't work that way. I had 2 failed rounds. The second one hit me the hardest. I was filming scenes about dinner parties and drama, while silently mourning what felt like the death of a dream. Tears well in her eyes, but she doesn't look away. There's still a lot of shame around fertility struggles, especially for women who seem put together, but I'm learning to be kinder to myself. This is part of my story now. A new chapter, a new love. Just as Kate was beginning to make peace with the unpredictable path of motherhood, life threw her an unexpected curveball, or, as she cheekily describes him, a 6'2" curveball with a golden retriever named Hank. Enter Tom, a sustainability consultant from Melbourne who met Kate not at a flashy launch party, but at a pet rescue event she helped organize post-filming. He was there helping out, totally unaware of who I was or what show I'd been on. We bonded over our mutual love of animals and terrible coffee. After a few casual texts turned into long phone calls and a spontaneous trip to Byron Bay, Kate realized this wasn't just a fleeting post-reunion fling. Tom is grounded, private, and very much out of the reality TV world, which I needed. With him, I get to just be Kate. No extensions, no fake smiles, no drama. The two are now navigating a long-distance relationship, with whispers of Tom considering a move to Sydney. We're taking it slow. After everything I've been through, I'm not rushing anything, but I feel seen in a way I haven't felt in years. Life beyond the spotlight. Since the reunion wrapped, Kate has returned to her beloved Bondi Vet Clinic, where she continues to run her thriving business and advocate for animal welfare. But she's also becoming an unexpected voice for women's health and empowerment. I've started writing a book, she reveals almost shyly. It's part memoir, part guide, about what it means to be a modern woman navigating love, loss, ambition, and expectation. We don't talk enough about the in-between phases of life, especially for women in their late 30s and early 40s. I want to change that. Social media, once a tool for brand building, has now become her platform for raw honesty. In recent months, she's shared glimpses of her fertility journey, snippets of unfiltered days at the clinic, and candid reflections on mental health, much to the admiration of her 100-plus followers. People don't need more curated perfection, she says. They need to know that it's okay to be messy, to be figuring it out, to have bad days. Would she return to RHOS? When asked whether she'd ever consider returning to Real Housewives, Kate laughs. Look, never say never. But if I did, it would be on my terms, and with a very different version of myself. One who's not afraid to cry on camera, who doesn't always need to have the last word, and who maybe, just maybe, shows up with her new man on her arm. She pauses. But for now, I'm living in the real world, and that's dramatic enough. As she stands to leave, her phone buzzing with texts from her clinic, and probably one from Tom, Kate looks more at peace than ever. Life after the reunion hasn't been easy, but it's been real. And for Dr. Kate Adams, real is exactly where she wants to be. Would you like a short blurb version for social media too?